Have you ever noticed how we walk to the restroom when we're on our periods? The quick palm hide of a pad, the silent slide of a tampon up a sleeve, the hushed whisper to a friend. Do you have, a thing? Happy International Women's Month. This month is about celebrating us, but I want to talk about something we've been taught to keep invisible. Why in 2026 do we still treat a biological vital sign, a sign that our bodies are functioning exactly as they should, like a secret we have to apologize for? Today at HealthMatta, we're breaking the silence around periods. Why do we hide what happens to half the world's population every month? Why do we shame a process that is responsible for every human being who has ever lived? Most of us have endured it, yet few of us stop to ask why. This International Women's Month, we're asking that question out loud. We're looking at the hidden cost this secret has on our bodies and nervous systems, and exploring how we can finally partner with our bodies instead of just enduring them. No whispers, no shame, just truth, awareness, and empowerment. Let's look at the words we use. If you walk down any drugstore aisle, you'll see signs like feminine hygiene or sanitary products. And honestly, that should make us pause. Because words like hygiene and sanitary quietly suggest that a period is something dirty, something that needs to be cleaned up. But menstruation isn't dirt. It's not a mistake. It's a complex, powerful hormonal process happening exactly the way your body is designed to. So when we label our bodies as unsanitary for 1 week every month, something shifts. We stop listening to our bodies. We stop understanding them. We stop seeing our period as a hormonal report card and start seeing it as a nuisance. But your period isn't trash. It's a vital sign, just like your blood pressure or your pulse. It can tell you about your hormone balance, your stress levels, even your overall health. Think about the first time you got your period. For many of us, it was not a moment of celebration or education. It was a moment of panic, confusion, and secrecy. We were handed a pad and told to keep it quiet. We learned quickly that this was something to hide from boys, from men, from the world. We folded pads into tiny squares and slipped them into our pockets. We made excuses for the pain. We sat through lessons, meetings, and long days, pretending everything was fine while our bodies screamed otherwise. Some of us grew up in homes where the word period was never spoken out loud, where menstruation was referred to in hushed tones, if it was referred to at all, where asking questions about your own body felt like crossing a line. And so we learned to be ashamed, not because there was anything wrong with us, but because nobody told us there was nothing wrong with us. This Women's Month, that changes. That silence has consequences. And today we are talking about every single one of them. So what is period shame? Period shame is the feeling of embarrassment, disgust, or discomfort around menstruation, either in yourself or directed at others. It shows up in small ways: hiding your period products, lying about why you need to leave a meeting, apologizing for your mood without mentioning your cycle, refusing to talk about period pain because you do not want to seem weak. And it shows up in bigger ways too: avoiding the doctor because you are embarrassed to discuss your symptoms, normalizing pain that should never be normalized, missing school or work because you feel you cannot speak up, making health decisions based on shame rather than facts. Period shame is not a personal failing. It is a cultural condition. And this International Women's Month, it is time we name it for exactly what it is. Period shame did not appear naturally. It was built through religion, culture, medicine, and social conditioning over hundreds of years. In many ancient cultures, menstruation was considered impure or dangerous. Women were isolated during their periods, separated from their communities, their kitchens, their places of worship. The message was clear: your body in this state is something to be hidden away. Religious texts across multiple traditions described menstruating women as unclean. These texts shaped laws, social norms, and medical practices for centuries, and those roots run deep, even today in 2026. Western medicine played its own role. For much of history, the female body was studied less, understood less, and dismissed more. Period pain was called hysteria. Menstrual symptoms were exaggerated or minimized, depending on what served the narrative at the time. Women were taught to manage their bodies quietly and without complaint. And then came advertising. The first menstrual product advertisements in the 20th century were built entirely on shame, warning women about odor, leakage, and embarrassment. The message was not, "Your period is natural and manageable." The message was, "Your period is a problem. Hide it, control it, be ashamed of it." That messaging has never fully gone away, and in 2026, the year of International Women's Month, it is time we call it out. So, what's the real cost of period shame? Period shame is not just uncomfortable, it is genuinely harmful. And the harm is measurable. It delays diagnosis. Women who are ashamed of their menstrual symptoms wait longer to seek medical help. Endometriosis, a condition affecting 1 in 10 women, takes an average of 7 to 10 years to diagnose. One of the biggest reasons is that women normalize their pain because they have been taught that painful periods are just part of being a woman. They are not. But shame keeps women silent, and silent women do not get diagnosed. It affects mental health. Studies consistently show that period shame is linked to lower self-esteem, higher rates of anxiety and depression, and a more negative relationship with the body overall. When you are taught that a natural biological function is disgusting, that has a psychological cost. It limits education. Girls who are ashamed of their periods are less likely to attend school during menstruation. In many parts of the world, girls miss an average of 3 to 5 days of school every month because of inadequate menstrual education and access. The shame surrounding periods is directly connected to educational inequality, and on International Women's Month, that connection cannot be ignored. It prevents honest conversations. When women cannot talk openly about their menstrual health, they cannot share information, support each other, or advocate for better care. The silence that shame creates is the same silence that allows dangerous symptoms to go unnoticed and untreated for years. It damages relationships. Period shame affects intimacy, communication with partners, and a woman's willingness to advocate for her own needs in relationships and in medical settings. What silence actually costs. Every time a woman whispers the word period, there is a cost. Every time a girl is told to hide her pad, there is a cost. Every time a woman pushes through debilitating pain without seeking help, there is a cost. Every time a doctor dismisses menstrual symptoms as normal without investigation, there is a cost. That cost is paid in delayed diagnoses, in untreated conditions, in lost education, in damaged mental health, in women who spend years, sometimes decades, suffering in silence because nobody ever told them they were allowed to speak. So what does breaking the taboo actually look like in real life? It looks like saying the word period out loud, in meetings, in classrooms, in conversations with your doctor, without apologizing for it. It looks like telling your daughter, your sister, your friend that her period is not something to be ashamed of, that it is powerful, purposeful, and completely natural. It looks like going to the doctor when something feels wrong, regardless of embarrassment, because your health is more important than anyone's discomfort. It looks like refusing to normalize pain, refusing to push through cramps that stop you functioning, refusing to accept that suffering in silence is just what women do. It looks like this video existing. It looks like you watching it. It looks like you sharing it with every woman in your life who needs to hear it this International Women's Month. Breaking the taboo is not one big dramatic moment. It is 1,000 small decisions to speak honestly about your body until honesty becomes the norm. Your period is not dirty. It is not disgusting. It is not something to whisper about or hide or be ashamed of. It is biology. It is powerful, and it is yours. This International Women's Month, kick the shame off. It was never yours to carry. Talk about your period. Ask questions about your body. Seek help when something feels wrong. And share this video with every woman who needs to hear it. Because the more we talk, the less power the shame has. Happy International Women's Month from HealthMatta, with love, honesty, and absolutely zero shame. Subscribe. Real women's health, no shame.